Oh, okay. So the balance here. Okay, so the last week, last time we were talk about the DM dataset. Okay, I think we have completed up to here, which is we are sending the SDTM. Okay, so one second. SDTM to folder. This one. Okay, so
Ali, so we keep only final data set in the SDTM path, right? Not all the data sets, right? Only final data set, that is sdtm.dm.
yes, so like based on the specification we have completed, right, for all the variables, whatever the variables we have to derive.
Mm-hmm.
So once we completed the DM dataset, we need to send it to the SDTM dataset. So in real time, you will have the path. So it does automatic. So since here we are doing only for practice purpose, right? So that's why I'm creating the SDTM library. So it's gonna go save here. So your dataset will be saved here. So all you whatever you derive, all the variables is gonna be saved here. Okay.
Okay. So derived DMs won't be saved here, like DM1, DM2, DM3. Though
No,
those won't be
no, no.
saved in the
No,
STDM part. They are
no.
stored in only work library.
The final part, yes, because
Okay.
because you're merging everything, right? At the end, you're merging for DM4,
Mm-hmm.
right? DM3 and the DM3 what you have everything inside. Okay,
Mm.
so you're merging like DM5 is the last one. So after you allotted the attributes, you're taking from the DM5 and you're making the final data set. Okay.
Okay. The final will be stored in exact path.
Yeah, along with your labels and length part. Okay. Once you finish, so you can stop it up to here, but usually what happen in the real time, you have to send it, you have to create the XPT file also, because XPT file, which is the one we use it for the batch validation in the Pinnacle 21. Okay, XPT file, which is the we use it for Pinnacle 21. So there is a tool. One second, I'll show you.
Can we access tool?
Yeah, here I just downloaded from the internet.
Okay.
So you can download it also. It looks similar like this one, Pinnacle 21. But
Mm.
I'll show you after where once finishing all the add-ons and TLF, I can show you in the end of the class. But I'm just
Oh,
going to show the icon how it looks like.
okay.
Okay, so right now it's going to take some time. So we're going to continue with this one. Okay, so we have to create the XPT files. For that, you need to write on libname. Okay, XPT. So export is the function we use it. And you need to create the link where you want to save your XPT files. Okay. So I already created one folder there. So you copy that one. Okay. Okay, I'll just gonna cancel right now because I don't want that one. Okay. So this is for SDTM and you put dm.xpt.
So in this XPT library also we have these XPT files, right?
So I'm going to create the XPT library, which is where you're going to save it here, just like SDTM, how we
Okay.
in the DM dataset there.
Mm.
The create XPT file, you have to use this kind of function. Okay, export.
I mean, do we have this XPT here in the work or explorer?
No, I'm going to create that one right now.
Yeah, once you create, it will be there.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay.
So you run this one. So XPT file was successfully assigned.
Okay, XPT. What is there inside that?
So right now we don't assign right. So we're gonna go assign right now. We just create the library. Okay.
Oh,
So data.xpt.dm. So set sdtm.dm because this is the data set, right? We're going to create that one. Now you have it. Okay, so you have created an XPT file. You see here. You have your data set. Okay, so when you go to your folder, the file looks like this one. This is XPT file. Okay, you see the difference with the data set and the XPT file. You can have a slight difference. The icon will be changed. So that is the last step you have to for your data set. Okay, so we have completed the DM data set, and we're going to now with the supplementary domain. So remember the last time I checked, there is a one variable which is extra in the raw data set we need to create for supplementary. Which one? Yeah. For the res data set. Okay, so you see here ethnic thing, because we are not going to lose this information. This is also related to race, right? So we pop up this variable to the race variable, and there is a one which is other. So the other, what is the mention? White. This is extra information, so we need to save it in a supplementary domain. So we call as Sdtm. So in the implementation guidelines, one second, I'll go to implementation. So there is a relationship, like special the relationship data sets we call. One second.
Ali,
Yes, Marty.
Ali, I just want to stop 1 second here.
Yeah.
Can you go back? Can you go to the SAS screen, please?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here, basically, first we created the DM dataset. Can you go to the editor window, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we created the DM dataset, and then the final one is basically you created a SDTM folder, right?
The library, Sdtm library.
Yeah, SDTM library, and then you
the SAS data set. In the outside, you have created the So you have created the folder in your
yeah.
Here you have created the XPT and Sdtm folder. So you have here is a data set, and here is the XPT file.
Okay. I mean, why are we creating an XPT format actually?
Because we need this file for the Pinnacle 21 validation at the end, because we need to create the different.xml, which is the Excel sheet to submit for FDA, right? Which is the summarized part of your all your data sets. So because the different.xml, it gives some like if you have any kind of errors for any variables, they are following the CD's rules or not. Okay. So we need to do in the Pinnacle 21. The Pinnacle 21, the data set, it won't take. It takes only XPT files.
Okay.
So for that reason.
Okay, Pinnacle 21 is something like the company that is that the only thing that uses, or there are multiple things that they check for? I mean, is there more software other than Pinnacle 2?
Well, I'm not sure because I'm using the Pinnacle 21. So Pinnacle 21, you also call it OpenCDisk. Okay.
Okay.
So either Pinnacle 21 or OpenCDisk. So they're using only this software. Most of it. I'm not sure if they have any other softwares.
Okay.
I don't even have that information too. Like most of them, they are using the F21. Even this the CDisk organization, they approve it.
Okay.
Because your XPT file of your data set, it compares with the implementation guidelines. Okay. So
okay.
like
Okay.
it compares for each variable, each value, whether it is right. The attributes, basically it compares only the attributes.
Okay.
And it's following the CDisk rules or not, the control terminology.
Okay.
All those check right away.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the reason that you use it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so the supplementary domain, the basically is the relationship data sets. Okay, the representing the relationship and data. So we have a two kind of categories. One is a rel-rec data set, other one is a supplementary qualifiers. Okay, the rel-rec data set basically it represent the combination of a two data sets. Okay, if you have two information, for example, well, I can give the information, but right now you don't even understand what is the concomitant medications and other one adverse events. Well, I'm gonna explain those ones after, but usually it combines the two information, two data set information. Um, so so that data set, but right now we are talking about the supplementary qualifier, right? So the supplementary qualifiers, if you have any extra information, and the data is relevant to the clinical, but you don't have the right variables. For example, here, so this one ETH is which is as per the CRF, as per the specification, it they map it to ETH, right? For the race variable, it mapped to ETH, but we have ETH other, okay, ETH other, which is also relevant. So we don't exclude this information. So we need to save it somewhere so that we can use it for at the end for analysis on the atom level. So for that reason, we need to send this information to a supplementary data set. Okay. The main use of supplementary data set, because this is relevant information for your clinical trial. So we need to save it. So we save it in supplementary. It means additional. Okay, additional data set for the particular data set. Okay, so if you click on these supplementary qualifiers, okay. Okay, so the supplementary qualifiers. So for example, you see here there are two dash here. So the basically it represent the domain name. You see DM, Sub-DM, Sub-EX, Sub-AE. So all that information, if it is DM, so we call as Sub-DM information. If it is AE extra information, we call as Sub-AE information. So like that. Okay. So this is a one record per ID var val, and QNAM value per subject. This is the data, I mean, the statement for this structure for this data set. So we have like almost 10 variables, okay, for this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, 10 variables. So we need, when you're doing the supplementary data set, we have to derive all 10 variables, okay, which is mandatory because all of them are required, expected, required. So required and expected. So we need to have everything in your supplementary data set. Okay. So if you have a missing values, obviously if it is expected, you have to keep it as it is. Okay. If it is required, you need to raise a query. Okay. You need to raise a query why is missing that information. Okay. Obviously there is no permissible variables. So we have to create all these 10 variables in your data set. Okay. So here you can see this is a study ID common. You can get it from the DM dataset. Our domain, which is a related domain. So the control terminology will be the domain. The same thing like in the DM dataset. Okay, so in DM dataset we have domain, right? So the same thing. So we have to assign as a DM for the rel-rec for the R domain, sorry. And the unique subject ID will be the same from the DM dataset. You can get it. And we have ID var and ID var val. So the ID var val, because this is if you have like extra record for each subject, and that time it can be derived. So now we don't have that information. So in the DM domain, it's just one record per subject. So that's why we don't have that information. It's going to be missing right now. But I'll explain you in the programmatic policy so that you can better understand. So the QNAM will be the qualifier variable name. So what is the name for the variable? So we're going to give it here. So, and the label for the variable and the value. What is the value? So your value, whatever the other will, the white, the white is, which is the value, is going to go here. And there is an origin where you get from this information. So either CRF or the protocol. So that information you have to pop up. And evaluator, who's evaluating, either investigator or nurse So you have to write that information. Okay. Statistician, database administration, these people, whoever it is, it's either CRF or Okay, so this is a small data set, but it's very important, especially in the interview prospect. They will ask you many questions. They will ask you directly, like, what are the variables in the supplementary qualifiers? So you have to by heart these ones: QNOM, QLabel, QVal, and they will ask you where exactly the value will go. So you have to set qualified value, which is the data value. Okay. So so in Adam level, we use the supplementary data set to transpose to main data set, like we merge with the main data set, but I'll explain you when we are in Adam levels. So for now, we're just creating this data set because we have some extra information. Okay. So all right. So I'm gonna save this one. I'm gonna go for new. Okay, so this one is supplementary Sdtm, right? So I'm gonna save it as. Save. Okay, so the Sdtm, basically the same thing, the same how we did. So we need to get some header part. So I can do the same thing how we checked from here. Okay, we do like that. Then after that, Sdtm Sdtm dataset. So to develop Sdtm dataset, and you put your date and everything. Okay, so today is 11. Same thing, modification history if you are creating the new thing. So okay, since we already created the libraries, we don't. I'm not going to write the same thing because I'm not going to write these libname statements. Okay, so what I need, because we already have a DM6. So 1 second. I'm gonna take up to. So we have study ID here. We have our domain, and we need a subject ID. Okay, maybe I can take the end of this one. I can take the final one. Final data set. Okay, so data Sdtm set. Okay, so we already have this one. So I'm gonna take this information. Okay, so we have this information, which is in character format. If not equal to missing, then do. So we need all this. So since we are in the final data set, we already have study ID and unique subject ID. I'm not going to create that one because we already have it. I'm removing that one. So I'm going to move these things. Okay, so the same thing like how we did for domain part. So our domain is 2 characters. So is it,
వాళ్ళే నెట్ ఊరుకుంటారు
I'm sorry?
చెప్పా వాళ్ళకి
Hello?
సారీ
Okay, so our data set, DM data set, which is 1 record per subject. So this data structure for our data DM data 1 record per subject. So we are not going to pop up with ID var and ID var val, because ID var val is only if we have a multiple records per subject. Okay, so because this indicates for the sequence. So if you have a multiple records, on that time only ID var val will pop up. Supplement qualifiers. Okay, identify the variable in the dataset that identify the related record. Example, sequence or group ID. Identify the variable for the patient records. Okay, parent records. Sorry. So this is if you have a multiple records. Okay, if you have a multiple record per subject, that then on that time it will be get your answers. Okay, I mean to map that values. But right now we don't have that information because we are creating the DM dataset, because for DM is I'm sorry, there is a DM dataset. I can open this. For DM we have 1 record per subject. Okay, 1 record per subject, because even this is because if it 2 period, that's why it's showing like 2 record, but usually it has 1 record per subject. So that's the reason we don't map anything and we keep it as simple missing, because this is expected variables. So we don't keep it, like we don't remove this one. So we have to keep it as it is, missing values. And the name is the label. QNAM is the QNAM is the variable name. So what is the variable for QNAM, which is race, right? Race variable. So race is the main variable for this information. So keep as race. So I just keep it as OTH. Okay. So you can keep whatever you name, because this is extra information. After that, you can change it in the Atom level. So you can, because since it is in ETH-OT, so I put it as race other, race OTH, and the label you give race, give like race other. And the val is, which is the value. This is the main one. So this is the white. Okay, this is the white. So we have to alert that value. So strip off. So we take this information. Okay, this is already in the character format. So I keep it as it is. Okay, that is the value we have given for the val. And this is the origin. So origin usually get from CRF. Our protocol is up to you. So, but this information we got from CRF. Blank CRF, I show you, right? CRF is. Okay, so the CRF here is ETH-OT. Okay, see here, Sdtm QL for ETH-OT. So this is already mapped in this Sdtm. So that is the value. We have to take QL. Because this information we got it from the CRF, so this information we keep it as blank CRF. Because this is a blank CRF. In case if you have the written one, I'll show you the written one. Where is the written one? The filled one. So race 1 to Sdtm and race is other. So because I'm not showing. So usually you get information from the CRF, right? If you get the information for the protocol, you can write it as protocol. If it is a CRF, you write it as CRF. But this information, I just keep it as CRF now. But in the specification, they will clearly mention where exactly. But now I don't have that information, so I just keep it as it is. And the evaluator, because we have investigator already, so I can keep it the same name. So this is the guy. So the evaluator with the character format. Okay, so keep it run. So we have end, right? Because we put then do here, so we put end. Then you keep required variable only. So we're gonna keep all your required variables. And put more than run. So ETH is uninitialized and investigator is uninitialized. Okay, I understand.
So we are not using the raw data set, no?
Yeah,
We're supposed to use raw data set somewhere to get that byte data.
Yeah, I understand because we missed something. Yeah, you're right, Bala. So we have to keep this information here. So first one is ETHOT. Okay. In the final data set, we forgot to keep this one. So supplementary data set.
So that is extra variable. So we can keep extra variables also other than Sdtm variable in the main data set, final data set.
Oh, did I keep DM6? Yeah, in final data set, you can keep it the whatever you mentioned in the supplement. I mean DM data set, you can keep all of those things. But for here, I just keep DM5, right? So I'm gonna take that one. So I'll take DM5 instead of final.
Okay.
DM5. Oh, it's okay, I guess. And for this one, I just simply put investigator name because we already derived in earlier, right? So we're gonna choose this one like that. Hopefully it's gonna. Yeah, now it's okay. Okay, so this is the Sdtm was created. Okay. Wait, something. Yeah, here. So this information is we pop up. Okay, so we have race other, and this is the value for the white, and the origin is CRF, and the evaluator is the investigator name.
What is those two variables that are missing? ID where and ID where val. Can you?
Yes, because this particular subject, okay, if we have extra information, like for example, if you have white, then the same subject, I'm sorry, I'm talking about only for one subject, okay?
Okay.
Same subject, he has maybe other information, like he's American or maybe some, I mean, he's not American, maybe he's the same race, like, because here is a DM, this is a DM. DM is the structure is one record per subject only, so we don't have multiple records for subject.
Okay.
This is initial information for A6. So everything is initial information. If you have race one per subject, it's gonna have only one subject, like one information, right? because the race is he's going to be indicated is only white, because he's not going to be indicated again as an African, again as some Indian, something like that. So he doesn't have multiple records. He have only one record. That's why this ID value has a missing. If you have a multiple record for same subject, for example, in an adverse event, one subject have 10 events. Like, so once he take the treatment, he has a diarrhea, headache, and all those events. The same subject, you get like, A term, you get like a diarrhea, the headache. So he has multiple events. On the time, the ID value like 1, 2, 3, 4, something is going to give a sequence for multiple records. Since we have here only one subject, so we don't give like one here, so it doesn't work out for this one. So that's why I kept it as a because these two are expected variables, so we keep it as missing values. Even though if we don't have any information, we just keep it as missing. If it is a permissible variable, you can remove it. We don't need to require, because we don't have any information for this one. Since as per the supplementary domain, these two are expected variables. Even if you don't have information, we have to keep it, and we keep it as a missing. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have done this supplementary, and we give similar like this one. We give what do you call, attributes. Okay, and this is the same way you can do other ones also. Other if you have any other information like for AE, EX, it's the same procedure. Same procedure you do. Usually, most of the time you won't get information as a supplementary, but some information, yeah, we have to record it like this. Okay. So we're gonna give the attributes now.
Ali, 1 second. Can you go to that Excel sheet where it'll...
1 second. Yeah, 1 second. Sure.
Yeah. So no, in the DM, basically here in this DM, it doesn't say anything about ethnicity other, right? ETHOT.
Okay.
But so, but when you're because you just included in the DM one, yeah, because you just included in the retain statement, right?
Yes, I keep it here in the DM file, like before final data set. In the final data set, I didn't keep it that one.
Yeah, basically that is coming from raw data set, right?
Yeah, this is coming for raw data. Either you can do like you taking from DM5, right? You can take it from DM5.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling. When in Excel sheet, when that ID is not there, when that variable is not there, normally a person like me, why would he consider to put that ETHOT when he's creating the data set here? Did you get my question?
Yeah, I understand. Why do you have to keep ETHOT if person
Yeah,
doesn't know
when
the
basically
information
when you're creating DM data set and you have an Excel sheet and your Excel sheet is telling, okay, these are the variables you need, right? And then when you don't have ETHOT in the Excel sheet, why would you put ETOH in the retain, like when you're doing retain? Why your Excel sheet is saying, okay, you don't need that, so why would you won't put it in general? But here, since we know that we need, that's why you put it.
Yes.
But say
yeah,
for
yeah, I understand your question. Why do we have to keep ETHOT if you like, for example, you remove it, right? You run as it is for the DM. So when you get the specification, you have to create the sub-DM. Okay, you will have all the programming derivations, and you will say the QVal should be get from ETHOT. Okay, the QVal you will be get from the ETHOT. Either you can take directly from the raw data set. Okay. Either you can just put set for raw data. Okay, and you do one by one each. Okay, because since we already derive study ID, DM, unit subject ID, that's why I took it.
Okay.
I took it from DM5 and I kept I took the QL and
Yeah.
where I getting for that information, I just put it the variable there only.
Okay.
So
Okay.
because we need to do like something like more how do you say efficient way. It's
Yeah.
not like you have to create for everything from starting and you do like subject ID, then you do something. You can, because since we have a small information, you can do like that for with the
Okay.
raw data set. But when you have more data set, which is already we done in the DM data set, and you just add one variable and you use that one for
Okay.
your sub DM.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I added there. So even you can do other way also. It's up to you because this is completely different data set. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna create the attributes, applying attributes, and you have to do every data set attributes. Okay, it's very important. Otherwise,
Yeah.
so what I do like the same thing I did yesterday, right? Same thing. So I remove this part. Oops. Delete them. Why is not deleting? Okay. Okay, so I just take the sub DM. So I copy. Okay, so why is this? So like that. So sub DM, we can take this one.